Alright, guys, welcome to another episode number 7 of the Rest Stop podcast. We've reflected on our previous podcasts, like everybody, as we should, and we've decided that longer episodes, people don't really have the attention span to watch them. So we're gonna cut them down to about 10 to 20 minutes, include a skit in between, make it a bit more fun, a bit more compact, a bit more efficient. So hopefully you guys like it, give us some feedback. Without further ado, today we're going to be going over Future Part 3. Part 1 and 2 were very interesting. So let's just wrap it up with with Part 3. Alright, and we also would like to talk less to the camera, talk more with each other. As an audience of a podcast, would you want to feel engaged or just watch? I feel like feel engaged or whatever. It's just to make us more comfortable, to make us better speakers. Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. To make us more at ease, to let us speak better, speak well. We're going to talk more to each other, and if you feel left out, leave a dislike. Without further ado, even though I've said that.
Do you want to do a retake?
Absolutely not. I've smashed that, okay?
No.
See, this is what goes on behind the scenes. But let's start. So humans have evolved from the beginning of humans. We've slowly gotten better, like we've gotten taller, we've gotten more upright, we've gotten more efficient at doing tasks. But when will we ever achieve the ideal human? The most efficient, longest living, the most intelligent, the most healthy, without being robots, without engaging in machines into our bodies.
Or is that what we want in the future?
Yeah.
Do we really want to just be human? Because with all the technologies that's evolving, we can improve human beings. Like having glasses. This is the most simplest form of technology that you can have on your body. Wearable tech, and it makes your life so much easier. And Fitbits, are those count as wearable technology?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you want it or not?
I mean, with most efficient, you could have the best vision, and never lose your vision. And then you wouldn't need glasses.
Okay. What about if you want to improve your memory and insert chips in your brain so you can...
You just have a bigger hippocampus. You just grow it bigger, as evolution goes on.
Well, evolution is too slow. Human technology are evolving very fast.
That's part of the future,
Yeah, but we want to achieve in the near future.
Near future,
10, 20 years?
Because I feel like we'll get impatient and we'll start using in these robotic stuff, and then it's just gonna go in a completely different direction. And instead of improving Da Vinci's whole human, with technology,
Designer babies.
Designer babies.
That is a thing, which is pretty interesting, right?
Yeah.
You can edit genes and CRISPR and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you can make your baby how you want, but that brings in questions of morals.
Yeah. Would I want to be somebody taller? Would I like to be taller? Yeah. But would I like to be tall? Would it be through my hard work, or through my parents selecting, add 5 inches?
I think your hard work is not gonna bring out any effect. But and also problem that comes up is that you need to spend money with those technologies. Say if you want to have your babies be smarter, maybe you need to spend a lot of money on it to change your baby's gene. But at the same time, poor people might not be able to change it. So society, there's gonna be
even bigger different.
Yeah. Organic babies and not organic.
Yeah. Could be a thing.
So there will be a larger class division, which is really not what we want. So we need to be careful about that.
Yeah.
And speaking about that, talk about quality of life.
Yeah. Obviously, nowadays we have a lot of inequality going on. Not like just what is it called nationally, but also internationally. Like in Yemen, I believe they're going through a humanitarian crisis. It's just unfortunate to see. And will we ever achieve equal or at least like livable life for everybody? Because it's I feel like we're a bit too grateful. I mean, that makes no sense. We're not grateful enough about what we have, and there's like tons of people out there with a lot less. Will we ever be able to be the same, or at least them get to our level in quality of life? If you think about it, it's not like your quality of life, like your income, isn't entirely dependent on your work output or the amount of effort you've given. There's a lot of different factors like intelligence, like where you're born, who you're born to, and drugs. Drugs could ruin your life, and drugs could also save your life, but that's a different type of drug. And we seem to have like, well, in the U.S. there's kind of a social hierarchy. There's like A-list celebrities, there's like government people, there's like high income, low income, homeless, probably missing some. Yeah, and will it ever merge into one? I think that way there wouldn't be any leadership. Will we ever just be able to be good humans and not fight over things? Will capitalism ever end? And if that doesn't happen, will the lower classes, because as time goes on, it's going to get more separated and more separated. Will the lower classes have what some may call a proletariat revolution? And will we descend or ascend? I don't know. Descend into communism? I don't know.
I mean, communalism is it's just an idea of how the society is gonna work. So
Yeah.
it's really hard to say because each of them has their own advantage and disadvantage. But I feel like we're never gonna get to the real kind of communism that it was originally proposed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Food is plentiful here, well, in some places, and lacking in other places. Will there ever be an equal distribution of food? Will you ever not have to pay for food because it's necessary for human life? Or will it always come at a cost? Food is one of...
So we need to understand how market works, right? So what is the future market is going to be like? So in capitalism, of course, everyone wants money, right? So they do their own work. Farmers grow crops, and musicians make music. So they sell their product to other people. That's how we gain money, right? And that's how the market works. But in future, is it gonna still be in the same way? Because with our current system, some people got very rich, and it's like 80% of the total wealth of the total population are in 20% of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's about right. So there's this giant wage gap, and social economics status difference between the rich and poor. So that's something we really want to look into and see how the future is going to turn out.
Yeah. population, I mean, the world's population is growing at a constant rate, right? Well, not constant, but like it's growing all the time.
Yeah, it's just growing, but it differs for different countries. For example, in Japan, there's very less growth rate. I think it's actually under 1, which means every like 2 parents are not gonna. Sounds weird. So, well, yes. So
For
basically,
one
there.
person that dies, there's gonna be less than
1
one, which doesn't.
Is it how they define birth? No, I think it's like 2. If you make, if you have 2 child, then the
Oh, it's like
growth
two
rate is
becoming
1. Yeah, if you have 1 child, then it's 0.5. I think that's how they calculate the growth rate. There's another metrics for the number of births compared to the number of deaths.
Okay. Yeah.
So are we gonna run out of people?
It's gonna be a long
that's-
time.
Yeah, that's too dramatic. I mean, human will kill themselves before we reach that point, right?
Yeah. Right.
But the problem does exist. Like in Japan, there are many houses that are has very low rent or 0 rent, but there's not enough people to live in. And on some islands, there used to be people and school, and now they're completely gone. So it's a very interesting social phenomenon happening there.
Right.
And what do you think? Why do you think America is not like that, or any other countries?
Because people in
money
America.
a factor? America's like usually people have more money, so they can raise more children. Or
Okay,
I feel like
but
Japan has a lot.
yeah.
Mm.
So, an
It's like
interesting.
American ideal family is like have plenty of kids.
Yeah, that's
Send them all to school, pick them up.
it.
Yeah.
Have more kids, grandkids, and all that.
Yeah, they want to extend their family tree.
Yeah, I remember there's a TED talk that talks about how different countries with different income level have different birth rate. So it's a very interesting phenomenon that countries with low income actually have higher birth rate, which means that if I'm very poor, then I want to have a lot of children, so maybe they can provide themselves with better life, or they're having higher chances of surviving or succeeding in society in their lives. So as the quality of life improves, people start to have less children because raising the children becomes more and more expensive and like labor intensive.
That makes a lot more sense. Right. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Move on to music. Obviously, my source of happiness, huh? But will it ever become free? Will we have to stop paying for Spotify Premium or Apple Music? No, obviously, because people who make music need to make money. Unless we look into communism, where people just make music for the rest of the society to consume, and they just do their part that way. But that probably won't happen anytime soon, and you're gonna have to keep paying your $2 to $5 each month. Free to use. Now that's a bigger thing, because when somebody uses somebody else's music, you can either look at it from 2 ways. Either they're like, if they don't, well, no, even if they give credit, you're not using it like either with their permission or like you're not using it for its purpose. You're not using it like at all. You're just republishing it in your name. And the other way to think about it is it's just free promotion. free advertising. You're giving people a chance to learn about a new artist. You know, it's like a big problem with a lot of other forms of media being reused in a lawful way or an unlawful way, especially on YouTube. You can get copy strike for about like anything, and just free use is one of those big problems today. All right.
Yeah, all right. Let's keep it fast paced, all right?
Yeah.
Fashion. So, when talking about fashion, what do we think of?
Fashion is an idea. It's a movement.
Is something that's rather surprising or strange for other people, for the rest of the population, and somehow makes the person that who is trying to be special feel good.
Yeah. I mean, if I went to the beach and it was hot, why don't I just not wear anything? I mean, makes you feel good, right?
I mean, there are countries out there that
Yeah.
like France,
But
right?
it doesn't really make other people feel comfortable.
Well, it depends.
Especially because of my big prowess. I think nowadays there's a lot of companies out there doing like 3D printing, custom fitting. I know Adidas has like these shoes that are 3D printed for your size, but they're like expensive. And will we ever get like more accurate sizing, so then you know exactly what size you're getting when you're buying online? Or will we have to fit it in store to get the perfect size? Yeah. And then sports, last of all. Sports, will we ever have perfect refereeing? I think it's pretty similar to like justice system. We won't know unless we know what the players are thinking, that stuff, and like we need full camera angles.
Do we really want perfect refereeing?
Yeah.
For example, in tennis, they still have the
Umpire.
umpire. What's that? Like the camera system to track where the ball lands, right? I forgot what it's called, but rather than using it every single time when somebody plays, the player has to call out if they think the referee is judging it wrong to see the actual results from the camera. So I think it's more like a new rule for the player to play with. It's just a new set of mechanism to make the game more interesting.
Yeah, and then football, or as Americans call it, soccer, there's like a new thing called VAR, video assistant refereeing, and it's called a lot of controversial calls, where like one shoulder can make you offsides, and it's very polarizing in the football world. Yeah. And then sports contracts. There's been some pretty big contracts recently. Will they continue to get more and more? Will will that cause more people to join the sport? Don't know. But it'll probably keep going up in value as teams compete with their top dollar to find the best team to win championships, to earn more money, more advertising, all that. The sports commercial world is one heck of a thing, you know. And then, will differences in professionals and amateurs like grow larger or shrink? Because as we get access to these technologies, will they be limited to the professionals, or will like amateurs be able to use them to improve their game?
Or like technology helping sports. For example, the marathon world record was
Yeah.
in 2 hours, right? That was from using. I mean,
Like
of course, we
ways.
need to give credit to the athletes' hard work, but also for
To achieve that perfection.
and also
efficiency.
the shoe,
Yeah.
right? Is it by Nike?
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The Nike's new shoe provides this perfect. It's not perfect, but very efficient aerodynamic design that reduces the drag, so runners can run faster without that much of work. So, um, does that? I mean, I think the Olympic, um, like saying are not allowing them to use this kind of shoes, right?
I haven't heard.
Because, well, in other sports, for example, like swimming, right? They're not allowed to use the swimsuit that reduces drags.
Will we
So-
let technology help us, or will we not let it? It's more of like it's back to the argument of the ideal human.
Yeah, so it's actually the fundamental problem is what are we looking for in sports? Are we looking for the achievements or are we looking for the hard work?
Yeah.
Are we looking at the athlete's professional work ethic or are we looking at the technology that comes with them? What is it we find enjoyment in sports?
Yeah.
Do we really want to push our human capabilities or do we want to
Push the technology.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's interesting.
It is very interesting. And the last thing we have to say about the future is with this podcast, or with all forms of media, will people look back on it and think and study it? Will they look back right now and to this podcast? I doubt it. But if I want you to look back on this podcast, I would like for you to see that you have liked this video and you have subscribed to the channel, because I believe in our last video, more than 40% of you who are watching are not subscribed, and that might be surprising since we got like 10 views, but that's like 4 whole people, right? That's insane. You better subscribe. Don't just watch our videos and not subscribe. Why not? You know. And give us feedback. We would love feedback. We've only got comments on one video, and that was our first one. So more feedback. Let us know what you want from us in the future. Although this episode wasn't that short, it's like 20 something minutes. Hopefully you like it. If you want us to go shorter, tell us. Let us know. Yeah.
Alright, we'll see you next time.
Yep.
See ya.
Goodbye.